Thank you for listening to this podcast from TRE, Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain and around the world. For more information, please visit TRE.radio.
TRE in the afternoon. Presented by Hannah Murray.
Good afternoon. It's just coming up to 5:10. You are listening to Women Talk. And with me in the studio today is Nikki Broom, Janet Barnett and Franny Katz. Hello.
Hello.
And this hasn't happened in ages, but you're sitting in the order that I've got your names down, which is nice. I love it when that happens. So let me just do this first of all. If you're listening at home and you'd like to get involved, you can. Here's how.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95.
What a beautiful day, it's a wonderful life.
Now, diets. The Mediterranean diet, with its olive oil, fresh seafood and seasonal fruit, has long been hailed as one of the most healthy ways to eat. But now, scientists say a traditional African diet packed with grains, root vegetables, yams and leafy greens could be even more effective at keeping healthy and warding off diseases. Is this something you think about, the different types of diet and the different types of food, or do you just know what's healthy and do it?
I think you need to sort of always take these, when it's all things come in the press, you've just got to take them sometimes with a pinch of salt, because as long as you've got a balance,
well, not too much salt,
but not that much. Because as long as you have a balanced diet and you eat well and it's nutritious and not the thing I noticed about this, it doesn't have lots of refined sugar in it. And I think overall that's generally what the problem is nowadays. There's so much refined sugar everywhere in everything you eat, whereas in that kind of diet it's very healthy, it's very natural. But I just think as long as you're maintaining within your culture where you live a healthy, balanced, and you're aware of what you're eating, all these things come in. You can't always change. It's not practical.
No, exactly.
And then 2 years later, it's like, oh, that's really bad. And don't drink coffee. Drink coffee. Don't have chocolate. Eat chocolate. And so you've got to just, I think, maintain a level of kind of, open-mindedness, being
and
a bit sensible, sensible, common sense, and just eating well.
Yeah. I've always wondered why they say the Mediterranean diet's so great, considering the amount of deep-fried fish.
It's olive oil, isn't it? It's the olive oil. They always go.
Because I'm like, olive oil's amazing, but I've also deep-fried many things in my olive oil, and I'm like, does that still count? Does it count?
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Not as good.
I'm a huge fan of a simple diet. We don't eat out that much. Maybe it's because we've got 4 children, we can't just afford to eat out. But just having the simple meals at home, a chili con carne, no added salt or no added sugar, no added anything. I love all of that stuff, and I think that is basically the healthiest thing.
If you're making food yourself.
Yeah, that's it. I was going to say, making the food yourself. So you're actually cooking. If you've got kids as well, just cooking and knowing what you're putting in, because then you can control basically what everybody's eating, and you know what's in it.
No ready meals.
No, they're full of sugar.
No takeaways, although we have it real good that we do get an Indian takeaway technically every Friday. But it's actually from our cleaner, who is the most amazing Sri Lankan chef.
Oh, how lovely.
That's good.
I know that she's made it at home as well. So even though, obviously, I wouldn't never say no to an Indian.
Takeaway.
It's a homemade takeaway. That's not on purpose. That just so happens. I know. I feel really fancy now.
Really smug.
I'm very quiet on this one because I'm sitting between 2 obviously very healthy young women.
Right, Janet.
That's
to be honest.
what I'm talking about.
It's all the healthy stuff, and I think that's where I've gone wrong.
Okay.
And if somebody presented it all to me on a plate for my meal every day, I would eat it and enjoy eating it. I think I really should do that for myself, and I don't.
Right.
What do you cook?
I don't.
Okay, there's the issue.
Fair enough. Well, you've got to love it, haven't you? You've got to enjoy cooking. If you see it as a real kind of hassle and you're not really into it, it's difficult.
So what would you eat? Would you what would like a sandwiches or
Yeah, toast.
Toast.
Okay. What, for dinner?
Every meal.
And cereal. And soup. I'm all right at soups. I can do a
soup's
very
good.
nice... I think, well, if I put all those vegetables in a soup...
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
But it's really quite lazy, isn't it?
I was going to say no. Soup takes a lot of effort. There's a lot of components going into
There's a
a
lot
soup.
of chopping.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you're doing
I'm good at
soup.
chopping.
I'm not a bit... I see, I hate chopping. I'd rather have someone else come in and sous chef the chopping part.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I do. I'm basically the chopper.
Oh, are you
if
the chopper?
anything. Yeah.
My
yeah.
husband, I'd love him to be the chopper. I only get it maybe once a week. Max.
You get talking chopper once a week.
Got a tangent here. Oh my God.
Very funny.
You're doing all right. You've got to take it away on
You only get your
Friday.
husband's chopper once a week. Love it. Love it. We
On
do
that
it all
note.
on this show. On that note, yes. Let's move on. Okay, ministers are pleading with regulators not to ban firms such as McDonald's from advertising on television just to stop them from promoting junk food. From October, adverts for less healthy food and drink will be barred before the watershed, along with a total ban on paid-for online ads for junk food. But there are fears the law, designed to tackle childhood obesity, could see some brands banned from advertising altogether. I think this is great that they're stopping junk food
Agree.
advertising. This is an amazing step forward.
I don't even know why they need to advertise anymore. If you're going to buy it, you're going to buy it. You know it's there.
No, but I think the point here is, though, they penalise the advertisers for saying, oh, you can't put it on before the watershed because it's linked to childhood obesity. But then the point is, you've got to, if you do have kids, you've got to then, if you see the advert, you've got to then, as a parent, allow the child to get in the car, go out, buy it. So there's an element of parental responsibility here as well, because it's like toys at Christmas. There's loads of toys at Christmas. You don't go, oh, well, I'll buy them all because they've seen them all. Equally, if you see Coke, Fanta, or whatever, I don't know if you can say brands on air, but you know what I mean, anything like that. As a parent, mother, father, you can say, yeah, we're not having McDonald's because we don't eat it. Do you see what I mean? So the firms, I can see why, because it puts the idea in the head, so it makes it more difficult and people want it, particularly kids. But you also have the other side, which is a parental side, saying even if there is an advert for sweets, crisps, whatever, before the watershed, like the article states, you still have a choice to say, I'm not as an adult, I'm not buying that.
I agree.
I mean,
I
and do you know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword, really.
Yeah, there is a big group of people that I've noticed. I only know this because I'm watching this really great show about US, UK switch. They're like school kids switch.
Like
Somebody
family
to the
swap.
US.
Yeah.
to the
Okay,
UK.
yeah.
And obviously in the UK, they all basically leave school and go straight to the shop and buy whatever they want.
Yeah.
So actually in that scenario, they're buying themselves. The parents have given them money and they're buying it.
Yeah.
Obviously for younger kids, they don't have that freedom.
Yeah, it's different.
But for like the teens...
Yeah, but then weirdly, I bet the Americans are more obese.
Oh, 100%. Well, because it's cheaper to buy processed food in America than it is to buy fresh food.
Yeah.
But that's their problem. They're backwards in this scenario.
That's an economic issue.
That's a whole other issue.
But then it's a fine line, because if you give kids get the money at a certain age, so by that time you have to let them go and hope you've instilled in them to make the right choices, to buy the right snacks. And it's a very difficult one, because banning advertising doesn't mean that it'll stop it.
Yeah.
No,
not necessarily.
it might help, but there's a parental side to it.
I'm sure it would help, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it does
it
get
will.
into kids from young, you know, the way they advertise, not just on television, but also, you know, when you're going to the checkout and it's all the colourful sweets and chocolates
it
there.
infiltrates your mind.
It affects adults, never mind children. But for children from a young age, seeing colourful things and things with animals on it, and, you know, they had all the junk food is attractive to look at with the colours, and from a young age they see this,
and it really makes me happy, because I'm such a terrible mother that I'm literally in the supermarket and I'll be like, oh, it's Friday, I'll buy them these animal biscuits. They didn't ask for them. Why have I bought them the animal biscuits? Why have I decided? Because I've seen them in the shop and I've been like, they'll love me.
You were attracted by the colours, weren't you?
Yeah.
And it was the shapes.
I'm not sure that it's quite right to start banning things in quite that way. It's very draconian, because you're then setting the rules as being set by somebody who thinks they know better than everybody else. So then where does it stop? I'm going to ban that radio programme because it talks about X, Y and Z and I don't approve of that. I'm going to ban that car colour because it's offensive to me, so I'm going to stop it. It's just who controls the rules.
You can't argue that junk food is unhealthy, whereas you can say, I don't care if you don't like a red car. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's
When
true.
we're
I'm
talking
trying
about
to bring
health,
examples. Yeah,
But when we're talking about health, they banned cigarette advertising,
They
didn't
did,
they?
yeah.
Because it was deemed to be unhealthy, no good for anyone, and therefore why are they pushing it? So there is an argument to say, well, junk food is unhealthy for everyone. There is, not going into details
Alcohol.
about brands. Exactly. Alcohol
would
could
be
be
the
alcohol
next thing,
advertising.
yeah.
Yeah, it could
Should be.
It could be. It's an interesting
It is
thing, isn't
interesting.
it?
It is interesting.
If they can ban cigarette advertising, why not ban alcohol advertising and junk food advertising?
Yeah.
They could be put in the same
Category.
Yeah.
And then you jump into pharmaceuticals, which anyone
Well,
could argue.
yeah.
And then it's clothes, it's shoes, it's handbags. Nobody's happy.
Because how have those clothes been made?
Yeah,
You're right.
exactly.
You're
Well, no,
right.
it is.
It's
It's
a rabbit
opening
hole.
a whole can of worms.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can remember.
Let's take
I can remember at school, at junior school, and it was the early days of tuck shops.
Yeah.
the
And
best.
you all probably had tuck
Still
shops.
have them, yeah.
And they decided they would make the tuck shops more healthy. I can't remember what else was in it except licorice sticks. Now, they weren't licorice sticks as in processed licorice sticks. They were sticks of wood that
Okay,
you
yeah,
chew.
you have to chew them, yeah.
And they were like a fad. But you found out they actually had to chew an awful lot of wood to get the same licorice.
Yes.
Oh my
flavour.
word, that's so cool. I've never heard of that.
I
have. I
It was
remember
it looked like a twig.
Yeah.
And you could chew it, and it was actually like chewing
Yeah.
a twig, but it had a licorice taste.
So was it actual wood?
Yeah,
Well, I
Yeah,
think
it
it's
was
more of a
licorice wood.
root, wasn't it? It
Yes,
was like
a root.
raw
Yeah.
So it's
Where
licorice.
licorice comes from.
Licorice
Yeah.
is from a tree.
A natural, yeah.
No, I did not know
It's
that
a
either.
natural
Just
product.
Not
it
from
was-
Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
I remember Mum used to buy them for me. That was like a sweet treat when I was growing up.
Well, you sat there with no
Bit of
telly.
wood.
In the corner. Hannah's all right. With a lump of wood. She's got no TV. Doesn't stick there. She's all
I was
right.
a very happy child.
Give her a book as well.
hurry up, Grandma, come over.
Oh, brilliant. Let's take a break.
Hannah Murray on TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Women Talk with me in the studio today, Nikki Broom, Janet Barnett and Franny Katz. There is an article here talking about champagne sales and how they have plunged to a 25-year low, with the alcohol-free lifestyle of Generation Z blamed for the slump. Demand for the French fizz is thought to have fallen amid the cost of living crisis and the uncertain political climate in Britain. Consumers are now more than ever choosing to buy cheaper alternatives. A total of 22.3 million bottles of champagne were shipped to Britain last year, the lowest since 2000. Meanwhile, sales of alternatives like Prosecco are at an all-time high.
So I don't think you could say that it's because of Gen Z not drinking if Prosecco's gone up.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
a non-drinker, so I am in that. Definitely not Gen Z though. But I am. I'm a non-drinker, and I would always, at this stage in my life, prefer to buy cheaper.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
But also, isn't Prosecco? I mean, again, as a non-drinker, isn't Prosecco just as nice?
There's a
Not
big debate.
quite.
No,
Oh, okay,
most,
wow.
most people would say no.
Okay, sorry, everyone.
So no, it's personal taste.
Yeah, but I think overall with this, I think it's the cost.
Yeah.
Because champagne can be so prohibitively expensive. And if you're younger going out and you want the Prosecco, sort of a glass of fizz or whatever, and it's just much more accessible.
Yeah.
So, because if they are buying Prosecco, it's definitely because they're not drinking. They're just
Yeah.
going, I think, for a cheaper option, which I understand because, a decent bottle of champagne is quite expensive. And if you're going out as a, young 20-something and for a birthday and you want a bottle, some fizz, you would go for the Prosecco, wouldn't you? Because you're not
Definitely.
going to suddenly go, I'll have a bottle of Dom Perignon or whatever.
Yeah.
So
But and even buying at home, if you're buying from a supermarket or whatever, you can't get a bottle of champagne in euros for much under kind of 23 euros for a bottle of champagne. Whereas Prosecco, depending on the brand, 5-6 euros. Cava, you can get even cheaper, but also going up to kind of 20 depending on the brand.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah. So
it's more affordable.
Yeah.
I always feel
It
like
definitely is price. I think it's price-led, that.
Yeah.
for sure. And I always think champagne is like, we're celebrating.
Yeah, special
So
treat.
you might get one bottle of champagne, then 10 bottles of Prosecco.
We're celebrating Friday. We're celebrating Saturday.
Exactly. This is something that I thought was interesting, which was sort of part of this article but not connected to alcohol. Please don't expect them ever to say thank you. It may be time to say goodbye to good manners, with thank you in danger of dying out, as Gen Z feel uncomfortable saying it. Just under 1 in 10 say they prefer to text the abbreviation TYSM, which means thank you so much. More than 10% of Gen Z say they do not like being in a position where they have to say thank you and prefer to send an emoji.
No, not acceptable.
No.
That is not acceptable. As an adult, but also particularly for kids, you have to instill in them, no matter what, that it's not just, oh, hi, whatever, that TYSM. It's just, you have to speak, talk, thank you, write a thank you card. I'm really old-fashioned about that. Because they have to know.
I agree with you on thank you cards. We were
absolutely
taught to send thank you cards, and I think it's great when youngsters now send a thank you card rather than a message.
It's really special, isn't it? Because it doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
So
it's nice. It makes a big difference.
Go on.
I have always wanted to be a thank you card sender. My parents instilled in me that we had to send thank you cards, and for that very reason, I don't send thank you cards.
But what about your kids? Your kids wouldn't send
Thank you cards. It's just a lot of hassle. You've got to go to be able to post something. That's outrageous.
How nice though for the person that you're sending it to.
Totally agree.
It's so gorgeous, and it's like comes in the post. They don't know. I think it's just.
I totally agree, but we don't really even manage to receive post.
We can't even
here.
write.
Oh no, it's it is difficult with post in Spain. That's a great excuse.
I just got my Christmas card.
It's true.
I did. I just got my Christmas card the other day from my mum.
Are
who
you
sent it from
serious?
the UK. So,
in April?
Yeah. So we do not get our post here. So I don't know if I trust sending a thank you card. However, I completely agree that they're fantastic, and I love receiving them. I just have always been terrible at it. You know, when you go stay at people's houses, and then after I'm like, okay, to-do list, got to write that thank you card. Next thing you know, I've sent a gift because I still can't get round to writing the thank you card. I've spent more money and sent a gift via something because
sent some champagne.
My brain can't do the thank you card. I don't know why. Having said that, manners, top of the list.
Absolutely.
Everyone has to say thank you. But this seems to be about text messages specifically.
Yeah, I know.
Which is conflicting because, probably I won't say thank you all the time. I might actually just do a love heart.
Yes, exactly. I'm a fan of emojis, but I would say...
Oh, you do say thank you.
I would say the word thank you.
Yeah, you would just say thanks so much.
Yeah,
it means it does...
Even on a text.
Depending on who I'm talking to, though. Like, if it's a friend, I might literally... She knows my love heart will mean I'm thankful.
Or does she?
She better.
Depends what colour the love heart is. You were saying all the different colours.
Not purple.
But you think how easy it is just to click on the love heart and send it as a reply. But if you actually wrote, thank you very much, that was a really great lunch, or... It's a little
also, and also with kids as well, the effort it takes sometimes to get them to sit down. You're like, write the card, and it's instilling in them this thing that they have to be able to do things that they don't always want to do.
I agree.
It's a bit of a life lesson.
Oh my word! I turn blue some nights just trying to get them to finish their homework.
I agree. I don't disagree. I totally with you, but you have to, you know. And also, my husband's family are just so... If you don't do it, it causes enormous offence.
I agree.
It really does.
For my family.
So they had not so much my family, but his family. So I'm like, look, you better listen, sit down and write it. Just do it.
This article has the headline, "How to Get Off on the Right Foot. Whether it's a date or a job interview, your shoes say so much about you." It is, of course, terribly important to be wearing the right outfit for an interview or a first date. But it's not your shirt or blouse, makeup or haircut that matter. It's your footwear. A poll reveals that a remarkable 9 out of 10 of us agree appropriate footwear is vital in important situations.
Yes.
I disagree.
100% agree.
I've got one foot on either side.
Let's start with Franny. Why do you disagree?
I mean, it's outrageous to say that the rest of the stuff doesn't matter as well, but there are many an outfit, and we can hark back to Lily Allen bringing in the trainer with a summer dress. Huge fan of that look.
Love that.
Love that.
Yeah.
And that would be deemed inappropriate, obviously, if we think about it now. Like, what do you mean she was wearing a trainer with a summer dress? That was awesome. Still now, I would wear a trainer with a summer dress. I do have a massive phobia of flip-flops. Like, never wear a flip-flop around me. I really just... that gives me the ick. I strongly just... I'm disabled by a flip-flop. And actually, when I first met my husband, he wore Birkenstocks. This was pre-Birkenstocks being in fashion.
But the first time they were in fashion.
Yeah. And I was like, what are you wearing on your feet? And he was like, oh, they're comfortable. They're slippers. And I was like, I'm sorry. I can see your toes. It's the middle of winter. We're in England. And then he went with socks.
As well.
And I'm like, you wearing socks with sandals? What is going on here?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then literally 18 months later, my other housemate's wearing Birkenstocks. She works in fashion. I'm like, what's going on? Then everyone's wearing Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
Birkenstocks are everywhere. And now I wear Birkenstocks. And I love my Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
But same with Crocs. Okay, I'm not a Croc wearer, but they really were heinous and they took off in a big way.
Yeah, they did. But actually, I hated Crocs for a while, but they're so comfortable.
Yes,
they're so comfortable. And my kids had them when they were little. I'm like, oh my God, they're disgusting.
Yeah.
But they are really, really comfortable.
Yeah.
People have gems now that they stick in the holes.
Yeah, on the front bit.
Yeah.
But I think about this, though, it's saying that appropriate footwear for certain situations. So, for example, a job interview.
You couldn't turn up in flip-flops for a job interview.
Hell no.
No.
Do you see? So there is an element of truth that you have to wear the right... For my opinion, you have to wear the right attire and know your audience, know where you're going, know what you're going into. You know, you couldn't go out for dinner at a black tie reception with a Birkenstock because you would look ridiculous. So, but all the shoes they stated, I have all those shoes. That, you know,
I find this kind of thing
you don't just have one style of footwear. You have trainers, Birkenstocks, high heels, a wedge. Most women, will have a variety style of shoe, and you know what to wear.
So it doesn't mean your personality is with your shoe. I find that so silly.
It's just quite obvious, really, isn't it? It's quite...
Yeah.
It is.
Especially a black tie.
Would you judge someone by their shoes?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes. 100%.
More by their feet.
Their feet, that's the feet coming out of the end of the slipper sandals things.
The grippy toes at the end, they've gone on too long and they've gripped the end of the shoe.
Oh, come on.
Where'd you go out?
It was actually on a boat.
Seeing those?
It was on a boat in A Coruña, as in...
stop showing off.
No, hang on. Question mark. Not one of those boats. You know how they have, like, the gala... with like the pirate ships, and I was showing my son and we were on one and I was behind this lady and I couldn't unsee her toes just gripping over the edge of her sandal, and I was like, she's going to fall out of her own shoe. And took a picture, sent it to my friend group. I'm that bad a person. I couldn't unsee this thing, but so huge judge of the feet that are in the shoes.
So not the shoe.
I think you're in the wrong country for not liking toes. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
It's true. I've got mine out right now.
Yeah. I had a pedicure this morning.
Got your Birkenstocks on under the table with your socks.
Right. We better take a break. I keep forgetting about those. Sorry.
Hannah Murray. TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Women Talk with Nikki Broom, Janet Barnett and Franny Katz. This is talking about going to bed early. You might think the rise of video streaming services would be keeping us awake later at night, but in reality, the likes of Netflix are sending us to bed 20 minutes earlier compared with 20 years ago. The lights now go off at 10:14 p.m. on average. A study of adults' behaviour has revealed. In 2003, bedtime tended to be at 10:36 p.m. and 18 to 29-year-olds, who people perceive to be glued to their screens the most, hit the hay even sooner at 9:42 p.m.
I always wonder who they ask for these things.
I know.
No one's ever asked me what time I go to bed at.
What time do you go to bed at?
Probably 11.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. 11 now, since the clock's changed. Probably 10, about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, interesting.
See, I just love going to bed early and watching Netflix.
Yeah.
I just think it's so, you don't have to wait for a programme to come on.
Yeah.
You can get ready for bed. It's just so nice watching TV in bed early.
Yeah. I know, I totally agree. Sorry, I'm in bed. I mean, what time do I go to sleep?
That's slightly
11,
different.
10.
Yeah, when you sleep, it can be anything. But I mean, actually going to bed early. I think the younger generation as well, they're so used to screens, they do go to bed earlier because they don't have the same attachment to TV.
Yeah.
We'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, that's on at 9. Oh, that's on at
Yeah,
half
exactly.
10. They just
We
go,
don't-
they can watch whatever they want, whenever they want. And that's how they they perceive viewing. Phones,
Yeah.
iPads, smart TVs.
Yeah.
It's a different generation.
For sure we go to bed early, but we've got a TV in our room,
Yeah.
so we do watch a lot of television.
We watched
in
the
bed.
laptop in our room just because we were like, we can't have a TV in our room. And I'm like, well, we watch the laptop
Yeah,
every night.
exactly.
What is the
we
difference?
thought exactly that's what we thought for ages. So we were like, it really doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't. Need one.
But I mean, very rarely am I asleep before midnight. Very rarely.
Oh, so you're a night owl?
I can't sleep earlier, and sometimes if we're getting up really early for a flight, and it's like, oh, we need to go to sleep earlier, I still can't.
Yeah, but because you're attuned to going to you have the cycle where you go to sleep at the same time. So even if it's an earlier rise, your body's still in the rhythm.
Definitely. Sometimes if I'm really really tired, sometimes I will be like falling asleep at 11 o'clock. But normally I'm asleep midnight, even 1 o'clock sometimes.
Actually, sleep cycles
Yeah.
wise, so my husband will fall asleep at 9 o'clock while we're watching TV, but then wake up when I'm like, okay, it's time to go to bed, and then he can't get back to sleep till his next sleep cycle, which
that's the
is
problem.
about 2 a.m.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That is the problem because if you go at the wrong time, we always say don't miss your window.
Yeah,
say to the kids, don't miss your window. Don't miss your window.
It's
You've got
very
to go
valid.
now.
Yeah.
It's like sleep.
Otherwise,
I'll be awake. So you've got you know, and I don't think people. We always say don't miss your window. Get in bed because it's the cycle. Then if you go to sleep, wake up, you're
It's so
all
true.
sorts of trouble. Yeah.
How are you with sleep, Janet?
I can sleep anytime, anywhere.
Oh, really? How lovely.
but bed is about midnight, like you, about midnight.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I have to admit, I was getting up to go to bed and I was sitting in the chair and I must go to bed. And then I leant forward. I don't know what happened, but I obviously fell asleep. You know those pictures of the people on Spice where they show you sitting
Where they're all
aside, they're all
over.
like that?
Yeah.
Well, I got my head over my knees. I can't do that normally. And I fell asleep with my arms hanging down and my head over my knees.
No.
What happened there?
Oh, wow.
That's
So
unbelievable.
obviously my sleep cycle said,
Yeah, that's quite
Now
nice.
you are.
Deep sleep though.
That's incredible. You slept with your head between your knees. That's impressive.
That's
Why not
flexible.
eight? When you
The
woke
next-
up, were you
Yes.
like, oh, what have I done?
Yes.
Could you get up afterwards? Because I would have been like, my back would have gone.
I was amazing.
How long were you asleep like that
About
for?
20 minutes, judging by what was on the television.
That's hilarious.
That's brilliant. I love that. So you literally can
So
sleep
you're a good
anywhere.
sleeper.
Brilliant. Okay. We depend on them as if they were a member of the family. Now our bond with our beloved gadgets has grown so strong that many of us give them nicknames. I discussed this on Men Talk last week and they all thought the whole idea was ridiculous, and I thought, I wonder if the women are any different. More than half of robot vacuum owners have given their device a weird or wonderful pet name like Mr. Cleaner, while 18% have given one to their laptop. 13% of coffee lovers said they've also nicknamed their espresso machine.
We have a Robbie robot at home.
Really?
He cleans the floors.
Okay.
Get Robbie on. That's what I say. Girls, will you put Robbie on? They know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so you
Run
have-
over, turn on the Robbie robot.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more of a woman thing than a man thing.
100%.
I don't think a man would call a coffee machine like Fred or something. Do you know what I mean? I think it's definitely a female-led thing.
Yeah.
Because that's quite. My sister has a robot in. Is it a robot that does all the lawn outside?
Oh, yeah,
And you
cuts the grass.
Yeah, cuts the grass,
Okay.
and she has a little. And don't ask me the name now. I can't remember. But it was that definitely has a name.
Has a name.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's because she
you
says
have-
the same to her daughter. But
Do you have names for any gadgets? Because I don't think I we don't.
Risky question.
Hannah Murray.
Any household useful?
Any device?
Oh dear.
I don't know.
Can't think of anyone
Away
right
from the
now.
scene now. I had a friend who called his robot Hoover thing
Yeah.
by one of his ex-boyfriend's names, and he'd be on the phone to me and he'd go, oh, hold on a minute, Caesar. Oh, Caesar's stuck under the sofa. And I think, what on earth is he doing? And he meant that Hoover had got stuck
brilliant.
under the sofa, but he'd named it after one of his boyfriends. I thought,
Okay.
Yeah, I get that.
It's an interesting
Oh,
one.
there are those Hoovers. There's Henry Hoover, isn't there?
Yeah.
And the red one's Henry, the pink one's Hetty.
Henrietta.
So they,
Oh, yeah.
So they also have their own names.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
they're all called
Yeah,
Henry.
yeah.
It's
they're all
kind of just
Henry.
a product of branding, because also I give nicknames to absolutely everyone. Like,
Yeah.
I'll meet them, someone, and then they've got a nickname
I'm a bit
immediately.
like that, actually. I get that. I
So
do get that.
I'm
Yeah.
scared to ask, but who am I?
We're not there yet.
She told me earlier.
Okay, a couple more dates. She told you.
Told me.
You can't say.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Not
it's
fair.
scary. Okay. Yes, I can't relate to this at all. I don't name anything. I've never named a car. I always wanted to be the kind of person to name a car. Before I had a car, I was like, I can't wait to have a car and name it.
My car's called
Never
Peggy.
happened. Peggy?
Yeah, you can wave at her when you leave.
Okay.
She's lovely.
So you're quite into it.
Oh, I'm a big namer.
We discussed because people. Somebody said to me, "Did you name the tuk-tuk when we were in India?"
Yeah.
No.
And we kind of we
Just the oil can, the petrol can,
Yes,
Jerry, because
Jerry
Jerry
can.
can. We called it Jerry.
I'm just
Jerry
a Jerry
Hall.
head.
Jerry Hall.
Jerry Hall, exactly.
That's
But
funny,
we
though.
didn't name
Yeah,
the
Jerry
tuk-tuk.
Hall.
We kind of tried. We, threw the odd name Patsy, and the odd name came out.
I
but
don't
it
think
never
we're like
stuck.
that though, are we? But Jerry Hall was just obvious because it was
Yeah.
a jerry can.
Exactly.
So Jerry Hall needed filling.
I love that. What is a jerry can?
Like those things that you put
petrol in it and then
petrol in it and
put it
then
in
you pour
the-
it into the tank.
Oh.
Like a carry thing.
watering can.
Yeah, well, yeah, but with a
But for
screw
petrol.
filled. Yeah,
for the
yeah.
petrol.
Oh, jerry can. Sounds
Yeah,
American.
joking.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Okay, star signs. Want to date me? Not till I know your star sign. In the age of internet dating, social media, and readily available pornography, what's the secret to finding love? Is it reading up on your love language or learning to recognise red flags? Well, no. The only thing you need to know is your horoscope. Not too long ago, talking about astrology in the same sentence as your love life would have elicited eye rolls and sniggers. Now, questions about star sign compatibility are nearly as commonplace on first dates as those around your job and how many siblings you have.
Yeah.
Nikki?
100% agree. Absolutely right. It's so if you sort of don't believe it, and then you start to look into your own life a bit more deeply in friendships, relationships, partners. There's always a certain star sign that you have more of an affinity with than
Agree.
others, and so you kind of go, I really like a Taurus. Can't bear, I don't know, Gemini or whatever. So there's definitely truth in it, and they all have their own trait. I mean, I'm really into astrology, so
Same.
I'm biased, but it is for me. I mean, it's just. It's always that you'll always look at people that you're close to that you get on with, and they're always the same star sign.
Yeah, it's right, basically.
Yeah. So what
It makes
star sign
perfect
are you?
sense.
Guess.
Leo.
That's my
Aries.
rising. Yeah.
So you-
Aries?
And my rising, if people who don't know, is your
Yeah.
character you give
Yes,
off.
yes.
Yeah.
So bang on.
So what's
Capricorn.
What's your moon
Okay.
sign? The
I
big
don't
three.
know
So you're
mine. Wait, no.
Capricorn Sun.
Yeah. Leo rising.
So you definitely got a Leo in you for sure.
I think I'm a
Yeah.
Gemini.
Yeah, that
moon.
also it looks. You do seem quite Gemini.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
What are you?
Now, I can remember we had a book. Okay, I can't remember the author's name, but if you're into it, you'll
Linda
know.
Goodman, maybe.
And every star sign how you interacted with in
Yeah.
a love relationship. And
Yeah.
that.
Love that.
So if you met somebody, you'd go, I'll look it up in the book.
Yeah,
as if
I
this
always
is gonna-
did that as a
gonna
teenager.
tell you
Yeah,
exactly
definitely.
how your relationship is going to work. And there
Yeah.
was so much in it that was true.
Yeah, it
is
really
true.
is.
It is true.
What star sign are you, Jen?
I'm a Libran.
Okay.
Perfectionist.
Balance.
Don't tell me what my rising or my
No,
low
no,
or
but
my
you
middle is.
don't always know that. But
Yeah.
Libra, yeah, very sort of balanced, fair.
That sounds about right. I'll take
My
that.
mum was Libra, always writing pros and cons, list. Is it good? Is it this? But it does work.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
Yeah,
What are you?
Leo.
Oh,
But
fantastic.
I'm Leo Sun, Cancer Moon, Scorpio Rising.
Scorpio
So I've got
rising.
2 waters and one.
I'm also Leo, as is my husband.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But you're
Two
Libra
Leos.
Moon. So that's good because that's like
That's your
between
love
air
one.
sign and communicating.
Yeah. It is fascinating.
Oh,
it
that
really
makes sense
is.
that I communicate as a Gemini.
You look quite relieved.
Eyes face.
It's such a
I'm very attracted to Scorpios.
Okay.
All my ex-boyfriends are Scorpios and also best friends.
A husband.
Scorpio, moon, rising, and sun.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Well,
We
we
had
actually-
a bit of a firebrand.
Well, it's terrible for him. We actually got our compatibility done at Glastonbury Festival,
And you weren't.
The woman, the woman actually said, "I can't believe you're still alive," to my husband, because that is like.
It's rare.
Scorpios are extremely passionate and deep thinkers, okay?
Yeah.
So the poor guy's head has been, full of stuff his whole
Yeah,
life.
because it's everything rising moon. Everything is
Yeah.
all the same traits.
How have I ended up with one of him? I
That's
don't know.
amazing.
My husband's Scorpio as well.
Is he?
And my daughter.
I'm a son.
I'm a sister.
I've got a Scorpio son now. Yeah. Great.
Oh, anyway, it's another programme.
It's so hilarious. were just chatting about. So basically, you agree with this answer?
Yeah,
very
much.
Something that you think. Is it something that you've thought about, Janet?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. As I say, I used to study it.
You should the book.
Only this book. I mean, it was a big fat volume, and it was so well read.
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree. But when I read that my husband and I were totally incompatible, I should have read it before we got married.
Yes. Good to know before.
Do you remember we used to do compatibility before astrology? We used to write out their names in full and cross off how many L's,
I've totally forgotten
how many
do that.
O's, how many V's,
Can you
get
remember
the
how to do
percentage.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to do that.
He loves me 85%. 85% love.
Yeah, and
That
then
was
it was
also fact.
Yeah. But it was also annoying when
it wasn't
didn't-
high enough.
Yeah, when it didn't suit what you wanted it to say.
You could just change it to the nickname.
Nickname, yeah. Nicola,
Or the
Nikki,
surname.
Nicola Jane. He will love me. He will love me.
Oh, this is brilliant. We better take a break. The last one.
Hannah Murray. TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to the final part of today's Women Talk. With me in the studio today, Nikki Broom, Janet Barnett and Franny Katz. Okay, this is an article we had last week with the men. I wanted to save it for the women. It is all about the ick. It's talking about different things that might happen if you were with on a date that might make me go, oh, definitely not going to pursue this anymore. Is it something you've ever thought about, Janet?
Well, I have had a think about it. And we know that we ever called it the ick, but we're back to the dating app thing.
Yeah.
And going to the cinema with this chap. And when we came out of the cinema, I thought, well, my car's just parked just over there, so I've got a quick exit. And as we're coming out of the cinema, he gets something out of his pocket and he bends down to put bicycle clips around the bottom of his trousers.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
And I looked down and thought, well, I don't know where this is going. At least he's not getting in the car with me. He said, oh, my bike's just parked round the corner. So I said, okay, bye.
Oh my word.
So bicycle clips
Bicycle
was what
clips.
did it.
Not a vibe.
No.
I had at school age, so I was like 17. I went on a date with this guy. No, I was with him. I was dating him fully. And we were at his house. This is really bad because it could be construed as fat shaming, so I may get cancelled. But he ate an entire bag of biscuits, and that was it. I couldn't handle it. I messaged my friend. I was like, he's just eating a whole bag of biscuits. I need to leave.
one go?
In one sitting.
Oh, gross.
It was disgusting. I was like, I can't kiss you after that. You've just eaten a whole bag of biscuits right next to me. You're 17.
That's
what are you
funny.
doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, I messaged my friend. But did I? No. I messaged him.
Oh,
no. So there are, obviously, this is back in the day when it's like not WhatsApp, it's just a straight up text message.
Yeah.
So he goes to the loo. I know he's not looked at his phone. I then grab his phone, delete my text message, still
So
sitting
he
there.
never saw it?
No, never saw it.
Oh, that's good. Well
brilliant.
done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Left and then never
Never
returned.
looked back.
I said, I just don't know if it's working. But I've been ghosted many times, so God knows what their ex were for me.
Yeah, I think.
I can't think of
No,
one.
mine isn't specifically like dating, but I can't stand. Literally, it would be a deal breaker. People that cannot hold their knife and fork properly.
Oh.
Absolute. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, we're in a restaurant, like the hands are all twisted and the knives and that weird thing when they do it like that at the end.
This one.
Yeah, like that one at the end, and the fork's not done properly. That's the first one. The second one is eating with your mouth open and chewing. I'm like,
And then
and I'm like, and if my kids dare do it, like, I am like, literally close your mouth.
Yeah, same.
Like, close your mouth right now. That one I can't stand. There was another one, but I can't remember what it is. But they're generally all kind of related to being out, manners, eating, table manners, you know, not that kind of stuff. But
I hate it when a waiter bends down to your level. I have a real issue. Immediately I dislike the waiter.
What?
And I love waiters normally. But if he bends down, puts his arms on the table and is like, what can I get?
guess
What can
what?
I get you
No.
ladies? I'm like, what have you done? We're leaving.
You're like, absolutely nothing.
Absolutely
You
not,
can't
mate.
get me anything.
I didn't get it until you said the able was on the table. That's too much.
You
That's too
know
close.
the guy I'm talking about as well. You can see him now, can't you? Like, he's right up there.
Yeah.
says ladies.
Yeah, but yeah.
Or girls, and both of them are insulting for some reason.
Just too forward.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be young and I don't want to be old in this scenario, so be quiet and get off my table.
I have to say, when you're talking about table manners, I don't see elbows on the table as being that much of a big deal for people sitting round the table. You know, that used to be a thing back in the day.
not
Don't
so
put
much,
your elbows on the table.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like that much of a thing now. I don't think that's something I would notice.
No, not so much.
If somebody
No,
did it, I wouldn't notice that at all.
It's the elbows on the table holding the mobile phone and ignoring the conversation.
Oh yeah, that's special.
Yeah, that's
the
bad.
The one I forgot, I've remembered, is people that. Sorry if this is anybody in this room. People that can't hold their pen properly when in meetings and they're writing like.
I can't remember the last time I used a pen.
No, but you know what I mean? And it's definitely changed. That from my generation when I was taught to write, that kind of there was a cut-off sort of, I think, in the 80s. After that,
So that's how you were told it?
yeah, like that normally. But then, people like, it's very sorry, listeners, because we're sort of demonstrating with the pen, but like, there used to be a kid at
no,
there was a
that
boy in my
like with
son's
a
class
fist,
like that,
kind
and I'm
of
like,
fist,
how
holding
is
it in
that
a fist.
acceptable?
Yeah.
And like, imagine going to like in a meeting at work.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
you've got, like, your whole
and
hand
at one point, my
involved.
daughter was doing something really like wrong, and I went to school repeatedly to say, change it, and they're like, oh, it doesn't matter. She writes beautifully. I said, it doesn't matter. There's a way to hold a pen, and that's not it.
Yeah.
I know that's quite old
I've
fashioned.
never thought of that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
but
it's
you'll
true.
see, you'll notice now. There's some people, and you're like, how is that?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
they do.
Yeah.
And I bet they can't eat either. I bet you any money.
Guaranteed.
Eat people. Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Can't
They won't
write,
be
can't
holding
eat.
their knives and forks.
Yeah, that's all,
appropriately
all
at
wrong, won't it?
Yeah, I agree.
There's definitely lots of icky stuff around body things that would be horrible and weird
Yeah.
to do with, like, you
Feet
know,
still.
picking noses or feet or all that kind of stuff that would
Yeah.
be a definite,
Gross.
no.
Yeah.
They're gross.
Yeah. We all
Once-
agree with that.
Yeah, hair.
Oh, what a man who chewed his hair.
Yeah.
Could not cope with that.
Anything.
The man who
How
chews
could he
his
choose
hair.
hair? What sort
Well,
of
it would
men are
have
you
to be
going
long.
out with?
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know. It would have to be long, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've
definitely
got
has to be
another
long.
one. Sorry, this is gross. This one's gross. This is gross, but I've passed this on to my daughter as well, because if it happens and we're both out together and we both see it, we're like, "Ugh," like literally gagging.
Yeah.
Again, it's all about sort of
30 seconds.
Oh, sorry, children that have snotty noses.
Oh my gosh.
And it
Totally
dribbles
agree.
down into
Yeah.
their mouth,
Oh.
and they're like. I'm like, why is the mother not, or the father
Cleaning
not
it.
getting a hanky? Wipe your nose, wipe that, and you're just literally being sick. Sorry, that was quick.
Well, we'll end on that,
Yeah,
I think.
that's nice.
No
Peter.
one else.
Enjoy your supper.
Happy Thursday.
Thank you, ladies. Very much.
You've been listening to a TRE production. If you've enjoyed this programme, there'll be another episode waiting for you next week, right here on this platform, where you can also access our extensive back catalogue of shows and interviews. For more information on our live programming, social media channels and apps, and how to contact Talk Radio Europe, please visit tre.radio.